Before we get started, I'd like to introduce you to our sponsor, Microgaming's first scratch card and instant win product, WinTingo. Since WinTingo is a fresh new scratch card program, the opportunity for player acquisitions is huge. Cap fully endorses WinTingo, and here are the top 5 reasons why you should join WinTingo today. The program is backed by an experienced and trusted management team. They have exceptional financial backing and collectively more than 15 years experience in the iGaming industry. WinTingo has by far the best player promotions in the scratch card vertical, such as offering a €100 no deposit bonus. WinTingo also targets very lucrative markets, so if you have traffic in the UK, Australia, Canada, Netherlands, Spain, Sweden, or Germany, WinTingo will be a high converter for you. WinTingo works with affiliates on RevShare, CPA, or CPL opportunities, and only with CAP you can cash in on an exclusive offer to receive a 40% RevShare during your first month of promotion. The scratch card vertical is growing tremendously in this space, and WinTingo is the perfect opportunity to get in on some major earning potential. Visit the CAP directory and join WinTingo today.
Hey everyone, I'm Warren Jolly with CasinoAffiliatePrograms.com, and I want to welcome you to today's interview with Phil Fraser, super affiliate specializing in the online bingo space. Phil's company, Focus Online Management, operates the widely recognized award-winning bingo portal, whichbingo.co.uk, amongst several others with a primary focus in the UK market. Phil's one of the most successful bingo affiliates in the industry and has been running his sites for nearly 12 years. In our interview, we will learn how Phil went from proposing an online bingo site to the board of directors at Will Hill during his employment there to running a multi-million-pound business with 7 full-time staff. Phil will also share some of his secrets to long-term sustainable success in the iGaming industry. Phil, it's great to have you today. Thanks very much.
Thanks for having me.
Let's start off by telling our audience a little bit about your history, including how you got involved in the iGaming industry and especially how you got involved in online bingo itself.
Okay, we have to go right back to almost the start of the internet. My background's advertising. I was working for an ad agency when the internet boom really started. As part of my role, I was responsible for clients' websites and stuff like that, but I always wanted to go client side. I happened to get a job at William Hill, who were based here in the UK in Leeds, where I am, and I was taken on as the casino manager. I launched the William Hill online casino on Cryptologic back in January 2000, which seems a long time ago now, and bearing in mind what William Hill and Playtech looks like now, the casino department was me, with a couple of staff. During my time there, I was asked to look at bingo as the, should we go there next? Did a presentation to the board. They, in their wisdom at the time, decided it wasn't right for them, and were sort of left aside. Having done that, I sort of looked at this and thought, actually, there might be something in this, and sort of parted company with William Hill at the end of 2000, and in effect took this report and thought, right, okay, I could do something with this. Put together a business plan, in fact, to launch a pay-to-play bingo site, and then went round the markets trying to raise the funds to do that. This was at the time when the dot-com bubble had just burst. Nobody in the UK had heard of online bingo. It was very grey in the US, so probably not the best time to pitch an idea like that. So that didn't happen, but what I had done in the meantime was set up whichbingo.com basically as a site to garner information about the market as a support to this pitch that I was doing. So when that all didn't happen, I kept on working on the portal really as a hobby. Did set up my own consultancy firm. Worked with people like Victor Chandler's, Littlewoods, people like that, and sort of became an advocate of online bingo almost by accident. So those are the people who were sort of around in the market 2001, 2002, 2003, probably heard me speak at various conferences as bingo is going to be the next big thing, which at the time may have been a bit of a guess. I can't say I was a great soothsayer and guessed how big it would be, But that's really how I got to where I was, or where the portal got to, and that was the start point, really.
Right. Okay. So you chose bingo in 2000 as your focus. Sounds like it's based on the report that you did for Will Hill, and then going out and trying to raise your own funds. You had a lot of research that went into this up front. You didn't just happen to sort of guess that bingo would be, where it is today. Is that accurate?
Yeah, I mean, it was almost. Obviously, I could see where it's funny looking at it now, but when we launched the William Hill Casino in 2000, I felt sort of the back of my mind, I thought, oh, we're a bit late to the party here, which obviously, looking back now, is not the case. But looking at bingo at the time, there were no more than 10 to a dozen sites across the whole world, and just on a basic numbers situation. Well, if you're going to be 13th, 14th, 15th into the market, and you can see the size of the casino market at the time, and this was obviously pre-poker as well, it was almost a numbers thing that made me think, well, there's got to be an opportunity in here somewhere.
And who were some of the key operators in the bingo space at that time? You said there were a handful of companies. Who are the ones that you might remember?
Yeah, there were the main operators. At the time, there were probably 2 or 3 software providers. One of them was a company called DCEG, which is now Parlay.
Yeah.
There was a company out of America who are now Bingo Entertainment, and a couple of independents as well. And that really was it. I mean, what is now Parlay and what was then DCEG was the only major operator out there. And all of you look at the business model that most people work on now in the bingo market, which is a network model. Almost all of them were standalone.
Okay. So what are the key demographics of a bingo player online, and what are some of the expected lifetime player values in this vertical?
Probably looking at the UK, we're probably looking female 35 to 55, down market. Not necessarily the sort of little old ladies you see going into bingo halls, but probably their daughters, or in many instances their granddaughters as well. So it's probably the same demographic, but slightly younger. In terms of lifetime values, it's hard to tell. From our point of view, we don't see a lot of those sort of stats. People talk about £300 to £400 lifetime. It's difficult to put a figure on it. The one thing I can say is that lifetime value is small amounts over a long period of time, rather than £100, £100, and they're gone after 4 months. It's probably more £25, £25, £30 a month, but for a longer period.
How many months would you say average tenure of a bingo player?
I would say that the thing about bingo is a lot of people who play it as an entertainment. So they're not playing, yes, obviously they want to win, but then it's not their prime motivation is to win. So it's part of their entertainment mix. So they would probably, if you said, okay, you've got £100 to spend, they might spend some of it going to the cinema, some of it going out for a meal, some of it playing bingo, some of it buying a lottery ticket. It's in that park of their spend, rather than a gambler might say, well, okay, I've got 100 quid in my pocket to burn, I'll burn it. It's in a different pot. So lifetime values, I think, with a lot of bingo players is endless.
So it could be 12 months or greater in terms of, longevity of a player on a certain room.
Well, for example, we as part of our business, we run a free bingo game, and that game has been going since 2005, and we've got people who are still, okay, it's a free game, it's not a pay game, but we've got people who are still playing who signed up on day one. So I don't think these people will stop playing. What they might do is they might vary their spend, but their lifetime, we in the UK, we're probably 5-6 years into the lifetime of the business of the sector, and I think people just keep going.
Okay, so looking at your business, if you took your overall business, what percentage is affiliate revenues versus paid media or anything else, or is it just 100% affiliate revenues? in terms of your
No,
income?
we started the business, as I said right at the start, my background's advertising, and before that was selling advertising space. So the business model I knew was selling ad space. And it was interesting actually watching last week's interview with Brian Bailey, who said exactly the same thing, which was back in the early days, you're dealing with some weird and wonderful companies in Costa Rica, Dominican Republic, Antigua, and Brian's thinking was exactly the same as mine, which was, you send me the money and I'll run your ad, not the other way around. And Brian's exactly right, because that's exactly what we did as well. It was all prepayment up front. The money doesn't arrive, we don't run your ad. Send me the money, we'll run your ad. So the first maybe 4, 5, 6 years of the business, the vast majority of the money of the revenue was just paid for media. As the UK market developed and as the business model has developed, we have more clients who say, no, I'm not spending, I'll do affiliate with you. So we're probably 60-40 paid for versus affiliate, and the affiliate model is getting larger, and the paid for is reducing slightly.
Where do you see that being in about 3 years? Do you see it, flipping, or do you see the affiliate model being the majority of the revenue?
I think over the last 3 or 4 years, affiliate has grown. I have no reason to believe that it won't continue growing. I think some of that comes down to, I use the word loosely, the education that new entrants to the market get, either from their software providers or from other people who say, well, look, this is a great market, you can launch into it and you don't have to spend any marketing money. And that, yes, obviously to a degree that's true with affiliate, but it's not the be all and end all. So what I think we'll find is the bigger brands will have marketing budgets. The smaller brands will go down the route of, well, I'm not going to spend any money, but if you send me some players, I'll send you some money back. Okay.
So out of your affiliate business today, what percentage is CPA versus revenue share? I mean, what's the model and also what's the model you prefer?
It's all lifetime revenue.
All rev share, okay.
Yeah, on the basis that a bingo player, for example, might only drop £10, £20 in the first month, 2 months, or something like that. We know full well that over a year, 2 years, 3 years, that player is going to spend a lot more money than whatever CPA we might get from a site.
Okay, and you've been in the business long enough to know that firsthand, and that's
absolutely. And I've always run this business as a long-term business rather than just how much money can we get in straight away. So we are comfortable waiting for that longevity of the lifetime revenue to come in.
Okay. Could you share with our audience any of the conversion rates in online bingo? Obviously, not really click to sign up because a click is not a click, but from sign up to deposit, for example, what's the ratios that you see? And if you can share any click data based on your target traffic, that would be helpful as well.
It's interesting. What we've seen recently is we've seen some what I would call odd stats, in that we've got some sites which are simply skins of a network. So the product is no different to the last version of the product or the skin before, with some really great signups and some really great numbers. And then conversely, we've had sites that are on much smaller networks, so they've been seen a lot less out and about, and the signups are great and the conversions are dreadful, to be honest. So it really does vary. I mean, from click to sign up, we've seen everything from 2 to 3% to 25%. It really does vary, and what we also see a lot of as well is it depends not only on the click, but what happens after the click. So we can send, or a great example, we can run 2 campaigns exactly the same exposure, same ad positions. They might send the same amount of traffic to both sites. One converts, one doesn't. Now that's down to offer, it's down to creative, it's down to the flow on the site once you get there. There's a lot more variables outside of what we do than we can control. And to a degree, that's one of the reasons why, as a business, we prefer ad sales rather than affiliate.
Share the risk.
Yeah, well, absolutely. If a client says, I'll give you whatever the figure might be, £100, and you've got to deliver 100 clicks. If I deliver those 100 clicks to client A and he converts none of them, and I deliver those 100 clicks to client B and he converts half of them, have I done my job any differently between the two? Actually, what's happened is the variable is what they've done, not what I've done. So I should be paid for what I do rather than my success or otherwise be down to something that's outside of my control.
Makes perfect sense. Okay. So why do you think you've been able to maintain such a successful hold in the UK market, specifically in bingo, even with all the heavy competition that's entered the space, say, over the last 3 to 4 years?
Yeah. It's a difficult one to answer without blowing your own trumpet, but I'll give it a go. We were in the market early, which was fortunate for us. In fact, we actually, obviously, we started in the US market and then expanded into the UK market. And our first version of Which Bingo UK, actually, we had to have a land-based directory in it because there wasn't any online. We sort of waited for the market to happen in front of us. So we were there early. We've always tried to do the right thing. We've always tried to build a site with quality on it, a quality of product, and then my thinking has always been if you build a good enough product, people will come back, people will stay, and then click on ads, etc., etc. And I think what I've managed to keep, and I think I try and translate to the team, is an enthusiasm for the business as well. Bingo, I'm not a bingo player, but I'm enthusiastic about the online bingo industry and the online bingo market, and I try and put that over to other people. I try and put it over to external people as well as the team, and that enthusiasm hopefully translates into a decent product online, which site visitors appreciate and use and utilise and come back. And particularly in the last year specifically, we've really tried to be innovative, try and do different things. There's a lot of, with the onset of things like WordPress, it's very easy to knock up, a half-decent website without any real skill. So we've had to really push what we do to keep ourselves ahead of the market. Some of it works, some of it doesn't. But we're willing to give it a try just to stay ahead of the market.
Just touching on WordPress really quick, because this is a question we get very often. Is that the CMS of choice for you in your operation now?
On our main site, it isn't. Which Bingo has a CMS that we had built for us, so it does exactly what we want it to do. Our free bingo game is an external piece of software, so again, it's a unique CMS. Within the business, we have a number of blog sites, which yes, we do use WordPress on, because it's easy, because it's simple to knock something up. So from our point of view, it works well as a support tool, where others, and I'm not knocking, it's a great piece of software, but it's the main tool for other people. So yes and no is the answer.
Okay, fair enough. So just to give our audience sort of an idea of the size of your operation, can you share your numbers in terms of unique visitors per month that your network achieves, and also how many new depositing bingo customers you're delivering to operators?
We haven't got specifics on that sort of stuff, but I can give you some guidelines. Our free bingo game, which, as I say, has been on the market, been live since 2005. We've got in excess of 250,000 people registered on that game. Now, that's not to say they all play on the same day, and obviously a lot of those people are not active at the moment, but that's the size of the operation we're talking about. Something like Which Bingo UK, we'll probably see 30 to 35,000 uniques a month. A lot of those people will return on a regular basis, maybe not day on day or week on week. And naturally, they are not all going to deposit and register on a new site every time they visit. So we will have areas of the business where we have repeat traffic that actually we're not monetizing. But that's part of the sort of bigger picture of what we do. Okay.
And depositor volume, would you say it's, can you give us a range? Is it 1,000 plus depositors a month? What would you say the neighborhood is?
Because such a large part of the business is paid for advertising, we often don't get stats back from clients. So a client will book an ad campaign, and the simplest feedback we get is whether they book next month or not. And that's usually the best gauge of whether it worked or not.
I see. Okay, so the numbers, it's a bit convoluted.
It's hard, it's hard to pin it down. It's not something we track on a specific basis. Whilst we have a wide range of clients, we have a wide range of affiliate accounts as well that we use. So to actually collate all of those together, take me a month to do.
So how do you manage the business on the revenue side? Are you just looking at the end of the month dollars that come in, or pounds in your case?
Yeah, it tends to be the case. The first port of call is ad sales. The inventory that we don't sell, we'll then sit down and say, okay, which affiliate accounts are we going to use to fill this space or use mailers, and that will be judged either by how that affiliate's performed the month previously, whether they've got an offer on at the moment, whether they're on TV, or whether they're actually marketing direct to affiliates, which is something that I'm always surprised that so few affiliate managers do. So from a very simple point of view, if an affiliate comes to me and affiliate manager comes to me and says, look, we'll give you an extra X% on your lifetime revenue for the next 3 months, or send us 20 FTDs and we'll send you an iPad or something like that, they're motivational tools to say to us, right, okay, we'll use that one rather than that one.
Yeah, makes sense.
But the simplest decision is, what was the size of the check that one sent last month? It's obviously working, let's carry on.
Okay. So with larger brands, take Foxy or Wink Bingo for argument's sake, are you finding them tougher to convert nowadays? They've been in the space a very long time. They've done a ton of paid media, especially in the market that you're focusing on in the UK. What are your thoughts on that? What are you seeing in terms of conversions with brands like Foxy?
I'm really pleased you've asked me this question, because this is my current soapbox issue. So bear with me on this one. To explain this, let's do some very simple maths, or math as you call it. Let's say for example, and these figures are used for example purposes only, so anybody out there, don't quote me on these. Let's say the UK market has 1 million online bingo players, for argument's sake. And let's take Foxy, it could be any brand. Let's say Foxy have 800,000 of those players in their database somewhere. And compare that to a new brand that's just launched that has a database of, let's say, 100,000 players. If I show a Foxy Bingo ad on my page, potentially I've only got 200,000 people who could click on there, become a new registered player, and become an FTD, and then we take some money out of it. Compare that to the new client who's only got 100,000, then 900,000 of those people might have a chance of clicking on that banner and becoming a player tagged to us, and then we get their lifetime revenue. So purely from a statistical point of view, running banners for the larger brands on an affiliate basis, just on basic statistics, becomes less and less viable as a means to generate revenue. What it probably ends up doing is I'm actually doing a CRM job for somebody like Foxy or Wink or whoever it might be, because somebody that sees the banner who's registered to another affiliate or whatever they're tagged to, sees the ad and goes, oh, I remember them, I haven't played there for a while, I'll go back. Fantastic news for the brand, for Foxy. And we get no, it comes down to pounds, shillings and pence, we get no money for doing that. So those are all, obviously I'm using statistics, I'm just pulling figures out the air there, but you can see that as the brands get bigger, it becomes less effective for an affiliate to actually run affiliate marketing for them. Now I'm quite happy to run paid for stuff for them, because in that instance, they're paying for the CRM side of things that I'm doing, the restart that I'm doing for people. The problem is, and this is almost the core of the market, affiliate managers, almost I would guess to 100%, are targeted by their bosses on registration and new players.
Makes perfect sense.
Did it? Because I argued that with a number of people.
Yeah,
I just need to make sure everybody understands that.
I think you used a pretty simple, easy to understand explanation, so thanks for that. So do you think it's related to, at all, just a slowdown in the market in terms of, these big brands have a large percentage of the existing bingo market, but do you see any slowdown occurring, making it more difficult to convert, or do you think it's just purely related to the size of the brand and the player bases they have?
I think the situation now is what sites are doing now is fighting over share of wallet rather than recruiting people who've never played online bingo before. So, again, I have no figures to quote on this, but I can't believe there are that many people out there who have never played online bingo anywhere else before. There's very, very few people who go, oh my God, online bingo, I've never heard of that. I'll go and register a property or something like that. What you've more likely got is you've got people who have registered over a variety or a range of sites, and that person might spend £100 every month. So out of their pocket goes £100. Last month, they spent £25 across 4 sites. This month, they might spend £20 across 5 sites. So the actual size of the market or the actual money that's in the market hasn't expanded. 4 sites have probably seen a reduction in spend by this player, and 1 site has got a new player.
So the UK market is definitely saturated. We can use that term.
That is my guess. But having said that, one of the things we have on Which Bingo is a directory that lists every single site in the marketplace, irrelevant of whether they're a client of ours or an affiliate, or whatever they might be. We list absolutely everybody. This year alone, we've seen 50 new sites launched.
Wow.
And that takes the total. I think the total I looked this morning, the total is 354 brands in the UK bingo market.
Okay. And the idea is the growth in the player market or new entrants that have never played online bingo does not correlate with that same percentage.
Well, if you again do some basic maths, yeah. 50 out of 350 is what? Is that a 6th? Something like that?
It's 7.
I don't think or 7th. I don't think the market's expanded that size. So just again, basic maths tells you it has to be people arguing over the same pound.
Definitely. Okay. So, Phil, who are some of your competitors that you highly respect and why?
We have a number of competitors who I have to say all do a really great job in the market. Let me name check a few of them, say hi to them. Bingo Port is probably our biggest competitor, and Scott and the team have done a great job there. They drive huge amounts of traffic and do a really good job. Bingo Base was one of the early sites out there with us. They continue to do well in the market. You've got Balls Up Bingo, people like Nikki Shute, who's a great writer on everything online bingo, knows exactly what she's talking about, and probably out of the whole market is the person who knows the market best because she's a bingo player. You've got people like Free Bingo Hunter, who are fairly new to the market, who've done an excellent job with a really well-designed site. Ben at Bingo Hideout does a really good job. And got to name check the guys at Sunlight and Mad About, the Andrews boys, the Edwards boys, sorry guys. How they get in the positions they get on Google, I do not know, but I wish I was in some of the places they were. And then you've got Chris at Little Star, who does Super Free Bingo. Again, been in the market a long time, does a very good job. On one hand, I wish they all weren't there because they make our job a lot more difficult. But the majority of they're all really good guys, and that's one of the good things about the online bingo market in the UK, they're not all in the UK. There's some good guys out there. There's the odd person who isn't as good as the others, but they're all good people. They all do good stuff.
I know some of those guys as well, and definitely some great players in the space. This last question for you, Phil. You've won many awards during the years in this business. Which are you most proud of, and why?
Great timing on the question, Warren, because last week we were down in London at the EGR Awards, and we won the award for Gaming Review Site of the Year. So that's across the whole of the online gaming market. My team here have done some really great stuff this year, and it was fantastic for them to get the recognition for the hard work they've done. There were 700 plus people at the award ceremony, and we are really, really pleased about that award. We're really chuffed about that.
Congratulations. That's a big one.
Thank you.
Well, very nice. We're just about out of time, Phil. I really want to thank you for offering your insight with our audience today. Definitely good to talk to someone who's been in the bingo space as long as you have. There's not many out there, as we all know. If anyone's interested in contacting Phil at the end of this interview, please send an email to interviews@casinoaffiliateprograms.com. We'll be more than happy to put you in touch. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for future interviews with iGaming industry leaders. Take care.
Thanks a lot.
Yep.